Tupac was the type of dude to praise God, criticize the church, and question God all in the same sentence. There's videos out there of people wondering if he's Christian or Muslim. And it leads you to ask, what did Tupac really believe, bro? And I'm not gonna lie, as somebody who has watched many Tupac interviews, I used to be one of the people that was binge watch Tupac interviews. And I'm pretty sure some of y'all was like that too, you feel me? That Vibe interview that he did kind of gives you the answer to this question straight up. Straight up. It really does. And what we're going to do is prove that. You see what I'm saying? Now, of course, I could be wrong. This is just my perspective. And you can give yours too in the comments. But I think I'm on to something, my boy. Okay? Now, the first thing that Tupac says when asked this question, what religion do you follow? He says, I'm the religion that to me is the realest religion there is. I believe in God. Now, off the ropes, right? Like just off jump, you gonna hear that and say, all right, yeah, you're a Christian, right? You're gonna say, oh yeah, you're a Christian. But I think he was making a much bigger statement here, dog. Okay? What he's saying is, I believe in God. And that's all there is to it. I don't need the label. I don't need the boom. I don't need to be put in these categories. My relationship with God is authentic to me. And that's what's important. That's what's important. You see what I'm saying? Because you could be in a situation where you are going to church every Sunday, you are reading your Bible, you are doing these things, but you still don't feel genuinely connected to God, or you're not genuinely connecting with God. And you know the difference. If you've ever got there, you know the difference. And once you know the difference, it don't go away. Okay? But what happens is it gets real easy to get caught up in the religion side of it and forget about the spiritual side of it and forget about the actual connection side of it. And I think what Tupac is saying here is, I believe in God, and that's it. And that's it. And I think as we break it down further, that'll make more sense. He then goes on to talk about how religion is used to control people, right? And how pretty much, in my what I hear is, it drains your self-esteem. When religion is being used to manipulate you, it drains your self-esteem. For example, a lot of us grew up seeing a Caucasian Jesus. A lot of us grew up seeing the Caucasian Jesus, and that's the same for many cultures. You see what I'm saying? From that perspective, imagine the collective self-esteem loss. You feel me? Even subconsciously. Because the thing that you're looking up as divinity looks nothing like you, right? And if that image is placed everywhere, it creates a superiority, inferiority like type of relationship. And there's a lot of people, even to this day, who are still under that conditioning of them strategically putting Caesar Borgia's face all over the place and convincing people that Jesus was a white man. And that's not to say, boom, boom, I believe that Jesus is in our image, or God is in our image. You see what I'm saying? So God is us in all shapes and forms. But I think that ultimately, you feel what I'm trying to say, bruh? So from that perspective, if you grow up seeing a black Jesus, your perspective on your own skin is going to be different. Your self-esteem is going to be different. Your confidence is going to be different. Okay? And that's where I want to segue into Tupac's song, Black Jesus. So I'm not even going to talk about the impact that it should have had for people. I'm going to just tell you the impact that it had on me. I'm one of those people that grew up seeing a Caucasian Jesus and not really being able to put the things together of what was going on in my mind, right? But that is conditioning over time. I'm being conditioned in this way to the point where I remember there was a time where I was told to draw myself and I was drawing like a white man. like super young. Like if y'all ever seen the doll experiment, it's similar to that. Like it really conditions you. And hearing Black Jesus and hearing Tupac put and create this image of a Black Jesus helped me for the first time imagine that. And for the first time I really recognized like a loophole in the game almost, like of life. Like, wait, I've been believing this thing this whole time and it could be false. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I think when you look at it from that perspective, him taking a song and calling it Black Jesus and repeating these things and making it like a gospel song, right? A hip hop gospel song, right? It's like reversing the programming. And that's one of the things that helped me start to look at my skin differently and start to look at myself differently. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the things that allowed me to start that journey. Unlearning the conditioning that taught me that because of my skin, I was lesser, right? So because of that, you see the impact of just a song being able to unwash that, right? Imagine what years and years and years of conditioning, imagery, music, all at the same time will do, going the opposite way. All right. So then we get to the fact that he starts criticizing the church, right? And one of the main points he makes is God should be able to meet me where I'm at. Why is it that God need gold ceilings to talk to me? Why is it that God need gold floors and all this different stuff to talk to me? For what? Where when God's able to, he put me here, so he should be able to meet me here. And I think a lot of people took that as like blasphemy, boom. The way I took it was that God is always with you. Always. Even when you are distancing yourself from him, God is still there. So why would you have to go to church to experience that? The Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, no connection. The Sunday, we go sing and boom, turn around for a couple hours, turn around, and it's back to no connection. You see what I'm saying? And it's like your relationship with God is yours. It's personal to you. Now, of course, fellowship and all that is important too for accountability and boom. But your relationship with God is yours. You and God. And that's going to look different than everybody's. That's going to look different than everybody's. And when you can look at it from that perspective, all of a sudden empathy makes sense. Compassion makes sense in that case. If I believe that your relationship with God is different than mine, how can I truly judge your relationship with God based on the things that you would do? You see what I'm saying? And even when we do it as human beings, it's just a reminder that we're sinners. You feel me? So from that perspective, I then want to talk about blasphemy, right? Which I'm not going to break down. I have a breakdown for it already, but I'm going to do a new breakdown, okay? But for right now, the line where he says, Babylon beware, coming from the Pharaoh's kids, is another attempt of him pointing out like the similarities and the mirrors between our lives here and the lives that are being talked about in the Bible. It's almost as if the story is just telling itself in 150 different ways all throughout the world, all throughout the earth, like just telling these stories over and over and over, right? And when you look at it from that perspective, you start to see it as we are the stories of the Bible. And when that opens a whole different lens of how you perceive what's going on in this time, I feel like. And I think that's the point that Tupac was trying to make. Babylon beware, I'm coming from the Pharaoh's kids. We are in a different time, but we still represent, in Tupac's eyes, that time where the Jewish were the people who were enslaved and boom and all that stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So he's comparing it and recognizing the parallels of that history and this history. And it continues to show you that I don't think Tupac really was, we'll get to that. But we are the stories in the Bible. That's my perspective. I know some people might feel differently about that. That's okay. We are the stories in the Bible. And I think that's what Tupac is trying to get across. And when you look at it from that perspective, the lens that you're able to see things through is just way different. It's just way different. And I think that relationship with God becomes so much more authentic. You feel me? Especially if, you feel me? I really do. And I think that's the ultimate thing, like having an authentic relationship with God. And first you got to get authentic with you. You got to unlearn the shit that's stopping you from being the authentic you. And once you tap into your authenticity, then the ways you were stopping yourself from showing up for God or loving get to you, they at least become exposed to you. You feel me? So at the end of the day, from my perspective, Tupac really believed in God. Yeah. Tupac believed in God. It's that simple. And that don't gotta make him a Christian. It don't gotta make him a Muslim. It don't gotta make him a boom, boom, boom. It don't gotta make him none of that. He could have studied all of it. At the end of the day, he believed in God. He believed in God. And we all know that Tupac believed in God based on that's what the love for Tupac's music is, that soul. And that soul does not, you don't just walk around with that. That's handed to you. That's things speaking through you. You see what I'm saying? So Tupac really believed in God. That shit crazy. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you've been here, especially if you new here. We're gonna be doing these videos every Sunday. I'm gonna I got a lot more perspectives that I've been wanting to talk about forever. You see what I'm saying? So like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here. And stay tuned. If you ain't seen the Chains and Whips freestyle, check that out. I think you will rock with it. And I'm saying that because people do. You feel me? I'm gonna catch y'all.